It was a beautiful day in the spring of 2007, and my cousin Alex and I were spending the day with my grandmother because we didn't have school for some reason. We sat in the house and started our day off with a big breakfast that my grandmother cooked for us. Since it was just me and Alex there with my grandmother, there wasn't really too much for us to stay entertained. Alex and I sat in the living room and talked about how bored we were. "What is there to do here besides watching TV?" Alex said. I didn't have much of a reply, but at the time, I knew I wanted to go outside. "Do you think you're faster than me?" I asked. Of course, she said yes, and she said that she didn't care that I played football at the time. So I ended up convincing her to come outside and to race me in the backyard. My grandmother was in the kitchen making us something for lunch, but she heard us going back and forth. "Stop all that fussing and go beat him, Alex. He's being cocky now," said my grandma. Once we were outside, I decided to keep provoking my cousin because I enjoyed seeing her annoyed. I started walking towards the gate that separated my grandmother's backyard from her neighbor's, and I told Alex to get up out of her seat and to come lose. I said, "What are you, scared? Aw, look at the little baby," as she's sitting in the long chair stalling. Eventually, after a few more antagonistic moves by me, she got up and stood a few yards away from where I was standing. She asked for a head start, and I refused to give her one. I let her say ready, set, go because I was feeling myself that day. As soon as she said go, I took off faster than ever before. At one point, I looked back at her and taunted her because I was beating her pretty bad. "Ah, ha, 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 you're so slow," I said as I looked back and pointed at her. As soon as I turned my head back forward, I saw pitch black. I bent over holding my right eye, right in front of one of the trees that my grandparents grew in the backyard. I could hear my cousin Alex laughing because she had surpassed me at this point, but wasn't aware of what happened. She ended up winning and made sure that I was okay after she was 100% sure that she beat me. "What happened? Did you run into the tree?" she asked. "No, Alex, I got stung by a bee in my eye," I yelled and I screamed. And we went back into the house, and I immediately told my grandmother what happened. "Are you sure you got stung, baby? I don't see anything. Your eye looks fine," she said. I was in tears, telling her that I was not joking around, that I needed some ice or something. About 10 minutes later, my eye was swollen shut, and my grandmother started freaking out. She started calling everybody she knew and even called the poison control. I vividly remember drinking a glass of lemonade in the kitchen while she was on the phone talking to somebody about my eye. A few hours later, my older cousin Chris came over, and once he saw me, he started laughing hysterically. "Ah, you look like you got beat up by Mike Tyson," he said, with tears running down his face from laughing so hard. I went into the guest room and shut the door because that made me pretty angry. The swelling on my eye went down after a while, but it was still very noticeable. I had school the next day, and everyone was asking me about what happened to my face. Explaining that story was so annoying to me at the time, but now it's a memory that I'll never forget.